All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic series. This one's from GSL, and it feels like ever since the new patch drop, there has been banger after banger coming out of the GSL. We've got Dark in the top left, Classic in the bottom right here, as my mouse spazzes out a little bit there as I try to observe, and the pro's going to come in to try and block that hatchery, but Dark gets it down. Classic a little bit slow on that block, and I can't wait to see how this is going to go, because Classic adjusts and adapts to the situation he's in. For those who don't know Classic, he's a player who is probably one of the most successful Protoss players to always be overlooked for flashier Protoss players. In his early days, people always preferred Hero and Zest, and well, people still prefer Hero these days, even though Zest is in the military. People get a bit more excited by Max Pack's finesse. But Classic has always been a player who can do everything. He can cannon rush. He can bring out weird, crazy cheeses. He can play a very turtley macro game. He can hit timing attacks. He can do anything in between. And he really just, it feels like every series is played to try and distract and catch his opponents off guard and do what he thinks has the best success rate against them. And in this case, it's Dark. And Dark is a scary play to be playing against, right? Because Dark is, man, he's a monster. I mean, Dark is a very scary player. But he kind of feels like he's been using the same strategies for the last, 3 years. Hasn't really freshened things up. What Dark always has, though, is killer instinct and an ability to turn disadvantage to advantage. He is one of the most unpredictable players out there. And I can't wait to see if this series lives up to the hype. It was recommended to me. People said, you got to watch the strategies that come out in this series. It was a real banger. And I can't wait to see if it does live up to that hype. 2 Zerglings on the way, as well as a Queen. 2 Queens, I should say. Zergling speed coming out as well. Classic's going to go for an Adept. Notice he's not making Warp Gate. Dark will see that, and he goes, okay, you're playing Stargate, aren't you? And indeed, it is some very straight-up standard openings, but that's always what I like. People go, same old, same old. I've seen these openings a million times. So what happens around the 4 to 5.5 minute mark, though, where we're going to get to see big deviation potential? Does the Zerg go mass Zergling? Do they rush a lair really early? And does Dark do one of his crazy Nidus Worm attacks? And what do we see as the follow-up to the Stargate? Is this going to be one of those Void Ray openings where you try to deny Overlords? Those have been getting really popular recently. A lot of Protoss trying to say, hey, if I get rid of the Overlords and shut down the Zerg scouting, I can catch them off guard with some cheeky BS. Oh, is he waiting for Void Ray money? What the hell is this? No. What? Fleet Beacon before even building an Oracle? Are you mad? Oh, that's crazy. And he doesn't want the Overlord to see him taking gases, so he takes a 3rd gas, but he doesn't want to take the 4th gas yet because it's in vision of the Overlord. Oh, Classic's being a cheeky bugger. He's planning a... Is this a Mothership rush? Because there's only one Stargate, right? He can't afford a second one. He's going to take a 4th gas now. The Overlord does see it. Few Zerglings coming out to maybe poke at that wall, but with an Adept and a Stalker, he should be fine. Dark's building a Roach Warrant. Okay, so Dark at this point is going, hey, how come I haven't seen an Oracle? What the hell is going on? That's a very early Roach Warren, though, against a guy who's building a 3rd gas. I think he thinks this is like a Glaive Adept build, and the Classic's trying to fake him out. Oh, look at that. The Adept there can shade out of the wall. Stalker takes up its residence. And it's a Tempest. Wait, it's only 1. What are we looking at right now? Single Tempest production? Okay, now a 2nd Stargate starts up. Okay, this is a bizarre build order. Classic has figured something out for sure. Oh, this is going to be fascinating. And there's Spores building. So basically, by not showing an Oracle or a Void Ray, Dark is kind of freaking out. Dark's going, what is this? I don't understand what's happening. Is he waiting for 2 Oracles? Look, he's splitting Zerglings up. Dark cannot figure out what's happening. He's building Roaches because he thinks, well, maybe it's an attack on the ground. Maybe I can make some Roaches and defend that way, or maybe even go for my own Roachling aggression. But it's actually Tempest production, and he's getting the plus 40 damaged verse structures for that beautiful Resonance Coil. So the Tempests are going to be massive building killers. And of course, when you get 5 of them, they can one-shot Queens. Lair starting up now. Dark's on a really bad economy. He needs to drone up. But often, Dark's response to finding himself building a lot of units that he didn't need is to try and just do a big all-in. Or wait for them to move out and then overwhelm their army and crush it. Unfortunately, his Roaches and Lings can't shoot up, and Tempests are going to be real happy about that. Already 2 Tempests out, a 3rd and a 4th one on the way as well. These Lings are like, what the hell is going on, man? Dark's finally droning here. but he didn't. This is such a weird build that Classic's doing, and Dark is was trying to mind game him, trying to catch him off guard. It has not worked out just yet. Classic, what are you up to, mate? What is this dirty, dirty build? It's just, I mean, and does he take a third behind it? He kind of has to. You can't really win the game with Tempest. You can do a lot of damage. Now, he's going to have 4 Tempests out in a moment. I think he's about to go across the map with 4. It's not quite enough to one-shot a Queen, but it is close enough. Looks like, is he going to show them? He's going to show them just to kill the Overlord. I don't think that's worth it. Okay, 5th and 6th Tempest are on the way. Looks like he's going to move out. He's trying to use these Adepts to clear the way. He wants to get these Tempests across the map without being seen. Aspire has started, which is exactly what you need as Dark. The Tempests are moving out. Dark's about to see it for the first time in this game, guys. And he knows, okay, he's going to go across the map with the Roaches and the Lings to try and buy time. Say, hey, follow us, deal with us. Hopefully he can deny the third base. Mass Queen coming forward. He's making a Drop-A-Lord right now. He doesn't have Overlord speed. That is not going to help at all. Dark's just like, panic, hit buttons. Surprised there isn't a random Swarm host building, but I guess he doesn't even have an Infestation Pit. Tempest's going to start to take out a Spore Crawler here as well. These Spores, man, they're buying almost no time. That building damage upgrade does so much. Oh my lord, look how much damage that hatchery is taking. The Queen's here trying to scare the Tempest back. You can't really beat the Tempest. You can't catch him. Oh, he's picking up the Queens to dodge projectiles. Oh my god, what is this 300 IQ response? Dark doing a genius thing because of the projectiles. Notice how while those projectiles are in midair, if he can pick up the Queen that is being targeted, he can dodge the shots with that Overlord. Oh, but look, Classic starts targeting the Queens that are nowhere near it, so it's very hard to dodge. He wants to keep targeting the Queens that aren't next to the Overlord. Dark trying to pull off a crazy smart micro maneuver. At the same time, Stalker's defended his Roach attack over there, guys. Dark, oh, he does start. Oh no! He loads 3 Queens into the Overlord and loses it. The Tempest just shoot the Overlord. That's a classic move. Whenever your opponent's trying to do hot pickups like that, you always target the transport. Classic knows this. His Warp Prism's been focused down so many times when he's trying to, you know, be on the other end of this maneuver. And Dark's 300 IQ maneuver completely backfires. And he ends up losing all of his Queens. Whereas if they could buy a bit more time, he'd be able to get Corruptors out. But now he loses his third, he loses his natural. Oh my goodness, is he gonna lose the Spire as well? He does. Oh, but he messes up the recall. Classic with a panic recall. I mean, he saves 3 of the Tempests, which is something, but he's going to lose 3 of them as well. Nice Corrosive Biles to help those Corruptors, and he will take out the rest of them. Dark, though, he's on 63 workers, which looks good versus 44, until you realize he doesn't have anywhere to mine from right now. He's building 3 hatcheries, which is very smart, but look at this. There's going to be a mass Blink Stalker attack. He's not probing. Classic's going to go for an all-in. Classic's just waiting for Blink. He's going to put the Adept in the wall. He's got a gateway on the front building. So he's just going to go for a Stalker all-in right now, which is genius, because you can also focus down the Corruptors, and once they're gone, the Tempests are going to rain down death, albeit very slowly from above, but they will start to actually rain down damage from above as well. What a cute opening. And it's so funny, because the mind game here is incredibly high level. I think this wouldn't necessarily work at lower levels the way Classic's done it. That's kind of how high-level builds work, because high-level players react very differently to low-level players, and because he didn't show any Stargate units coming out, Dark kind of second-guessed himself, built all these Roaches, and was not ready for it. Tempest taking big damage. He's not focusing the Corruptors. He's just going to let those Tempests bait the Corruptors over, but there's way too many Stalkers, and Classic crushes game 1 with a sexy build. All right, let's go into game 2. We got Classic in the bottom left now of Solaris, up against Dark in the top right. And Dark just got, I feel like a game like that, you kind of feel like you've just been a small child who's been thrown inside a washing machine. You know, you kind of just been bounced around and your head feels a bit rattled. You're like, what the hell, man? Like, that was a very special build order. And I imagine Classic goes back to some more standard stuff, but already blocking the hatchery this time, which is great. Wait, what is this? Dark, what are we doing? He's sending a drone across the map, guys. What? And he's waiting to send another drone down to get the hatchery. Oh, but he's so gambling on it. If Classic just stays there, he can just keep denying this base. Dark's opening is so bad. It's so bad because he's gambling on the probe, leaving his hatchery is so late. Oh, this is an awful opening. He's going to have to hatchery block on the other side of the map as well, which I guess was always his plan here. I mean, at least that's a cute way to disrupt the opponent, but his hatchery is so very late. All right, he's going to build a hatchery on their natural. Probe will come down, and he's going to build a Zealot. More probes. He's still got guys on gas, and he's going to pull 3 probes to attack it. Okay. 3 probes and a Zealot can kill it pretty quickly. Second pylon goes up behind in the main base. Still 2 workers on gas, so Classic's trying to just kind of keep a bit of a balance between all of that. Hard to micro this probe to harass Dark's minerals at the same time, yet he's doing a pretty good job of it. Does he build a second Zealot when the second pylon finishes? I don't think he really needs to. That hatchery is going to be dying. So basically, he's saying, look, I don't build the Nexus straight away. I'm not trying to kill this instantly. Otherwise, I would have pulled maybe 4 or 5 probes, and it'd be dying very soon. But I just want it to be dying the moment it finishes. So there's no chance to spread creep, no chance to get a queen out of it. And it seems like you can see it's actually getting close to dying. So it looks like he wants to ensure that the base actually straight up has to get cancelled, and there's no chance for creep to spread at all. All right, Nexus goes down there. Does get delayed by about a minute on the Nexus. And Dark goes for a 3rd hatchery pretty quickly. His own queens are super late, so definitely an awkward opening for Dark. But one he'll be okay with. He's got 1 worker on gas. Ling speed started. 21 drones versus 23 probes. Now, to be fair, there are 2 adepts coming out, right? He cleans up the drone finally, but that's delayed this adept going across the map. I would have loved to see a double adept pressure. I think in games like this, counterattacking them, the Zerg is so good because Dark's opening. Like, he doesn't have Ling speed for a while. His queens are so very late. But I do think Classic didn't quite have as much urgency on moving across the map as he probably should have. On the other hand, Twilight Council's on the way behind this. 25 pros versus 22 drones. I don't think this is bad for Classic. Let's see what he can get done. He's going to spot the hatchery. Zealot's going to start doing some damage on it. Maybe that'll help out later on. Looks like he manages to kill a Zergling here. We'll kill another one. He's also forcing Zergling defense out of Dark. So I think Classic's just happy to get any free pickoffs that he can get here. Zergling's going to go after the Zealot. If the Zealot can get in the mineral line, that is going to be a very good fight for it. Robo into second gateway. Classic probing up quite nicely. Adepts here, they managed to take out his Zergling, but they don't actually get the creep tumor. So Dark spreading creep. He's only got 2 queens. He's not injecting right now. And he's a little low on lava. Ooh, okay, a creep tumor does get picked off, and Classic will back away for now. Going for 4-gate glaives in the follow-up. Dark's going to need to put back on gas and get a Roach Warren in the near future if he wants to be ready for that glaives timing. Both sides are in an awkward spot right now, though. Nothing that shoots up available. And Dark's going to see Twilight Robo, so he knows what he's up against. He's like, okay, this is just an adept pressure. I think in this game, if Classic just did a 3-gate glaives with no Robo into a 3rd base, it would have been a much better opening. The reason for that is it's been such a wonky opening on both sides. Waiting for the Prism, it feels like, is going to waste a lot of time. Classic, though, will clean up the Overlord and continue his so far perfect game. As long as that Stalker just moves forward a little bit, shouldn't really be any way for that Overlord to escape. I always say this, and then I swear I'm wrong like half the time, but in this case, I'm actually very confident. Still lots of room to chase that, and it does go down. You like how I started hedging, and then halfway through hedging, as it became easier to predict, I said, oh no, I'm very confident this time. That's what we call trying to make yourself sound smarter than you actually are. It's something I am absolutely 100% guilty of. 7 adepts going forwards across this map. Looks like he's going to try and run into the 3rd, shade towards the natural. Roaches are building. There's 7 of them on the way. I think Dark might have timed this out really well. Classic does not have a probe at the 3rd. He's only on 37 workers. He's got to get damage done. He's got to do it soon. He's going to run in towards the main base by the looks of it. That's interesting. Okay. Prism's going to rotate towards the main. Adepts should definitely finish this shade. Manages to take out a few Zerglings. 1 or 2 drones go down as well. Good pullback by Dark. Queens and Roaches going to start to work on these Adepts. Classic getting a lot of damage done here. Let's see what he can find. The Prism distracting a lot of units out there. Ooh, 4-5 drones go down. Nice focus fire for Classic. Not letting any of those out of there. The Prism not wasting any time warping in. 3rd base starts. Immortal production starts. And I think this is already amazing damage. All you need to do is just preserve the Adepts at this point as Classic. There's just not that many drones available. If you can take a decent fight, that's good. You know, an Adept for a Roach is always decent. But you're going to have to see how he does it. Oh, Classic, don't lose your Prism. Don't throw your Adepts away. He does waste a bit more of his opponent's mining time. I think definitely leaving at this point is the better, you know, the better choice here. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Oh, man, he's losing a lot of Adepts. The Prism goes back in and almost dies to the Queens. Definitely good pressure out of Classic, though, and he's actually going for more Immortals. He's not probing right now. He's doing a 2-gas Immortal timing, guys. Dark has no vision. Oh, so he'll see a 3rd base and think, oh, yeah, this is a 3rd base play, but it's not. It's going to be an Immortal all-in. I think Classic's going to move out very soon. Dark's now trying to drone up, thinking, oh, man, Protoss is probably on 50, 55 workers. I mean, I can't, maybe I can poke with Roach Speed to counterattack, but it's very dangerous to do that with Warp Prisms and potentially Immortals out there. So Dark's going to be droning up to like 60 plus workers here. And that's just what you should logically do right now as a Zerg, unless you have a reason to think you should do otherwise. But with no Zerglings out for scouting and only this Overseer just now heading across the map, it's incredibly tough to make any really good decisions there. Quick save on those Adepts, not overcommitting. There's a third Immortal building? What is this timing from Classic? 3 Immortals. Mad Dog, he's going to try and send 2 Adepts in towards the natural. I love that. Adepts coming in both sides at once. Definitely should cancel that. There's no reason to let that finish. And yet he picks off a drone and gets all 4 out of there. And these 2 are going to butcher the drone count. This is going to encourage Dark to build even more drones. But if Dark's paying attention to his scouting, he's going to see that this is an all-in. But Dark's very busy with the Adepts, which means he's not paying attention. He's droning right now. Classic's moving across the map. It is go time, guys. 3 Immortals, a Sentry, a Stalker, and 25 Adepts moving across this map. These Adepts look like they will finally get taken out in a moment here. He's a bit too busy to pay attention. He thought that was already dead. Doesn't cancel it. Dark is finally stopped building drones, but so late. He's only got 14 Roaches, 4 Ravagers, and, of course, his Queens. And it's go time. Classic's going to warp in more Adepts and shove them in. Adepts might not be great versus Roaches, but the Immortals absolutely are. And it is go time. He's got to shove up this ramp. Go, 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 go. Classic might just have a clean 2-0 with some nasty build orders here, man. The Glaive Adept pressure into the Immortal Adept timing attack. It's an old one, but it's a goodie. It's a really good timing. But, oh, he walks into Bile with his Sentry, loses his Guardian Shield. The Prism. Oh, the Prism's a bit too close. Classic. Oh, no. He let his Prism die to the Queens. He could have pulled that back. He's winning this fight still, though. He might still have the numbers on the front line. He's warping in Adepts at home and shading them across the map now. It makes it much harder to micro on the front when you have to go all the way home to warp in those units and bring them forward. He is doing some very good damage. Clicking the hatchery might just be the play here, but he's killing Roaches instantly as they pop out. Adepts also absolutely murder drones. With no Prism to micro the Immortals, it's dangerous, though, because if you lose those Immortals, you lose your big power units. And look at this, Ling's coming in as well, tanking a lot of those Immortal shots. There's no Prism here. Is Dark actually going to hold this? Purely because he managed to kill the Prism. If he did not kill the Prism, I guarantee you this was game over, man. This was game over, but he holds. He kills all the Immortals. And now Classic's making blink, but it's maybe a bit too late. He's got 7 gateways. He's trying to go 9 gateways right now. He's going to go do some Adept pressure and then try and defend. He needs a battery and Stalker production right now. He also needs gases. He's getting up to 4 gas. Oh, man. He doesn't have enough gas to build Stalkers. Uh-oh. This is a big problem right now. He's going to try and bring the Adepts home with this new Warp Prism. But Dark, of course, is just holding down the Ling Ravager King and going for a counter roll-in. If Classic had a battery up, I think he might have been able to defend it, but there's still 15 seconds out, and you know Dark's going to jump on those very, very quickly. Dark is behind 13 workers. He has to do damage. The probes might have to be pulled here. Oh man, more Adepts warping to try and deal with the Zerglings. The Stalker's starting to get hit down and taking a lot of damage. Blinker's not quite ready yet. The Prism doing some very good micro there for Classic, but man, Bile's going across the front line. The shield battery will come up, but look at that. The moment it finishes, even though it overcharges and the Immortal does get dropped down here from the high ground, Biles take it out. And it's 1 Immortal, 2 Stalkers, and a pack of probes. Adepts trying to warp in to deal with the Zergling rally. Probes are getting Bile down all over the shop. The Biles in the mineral line. Pulling back to the mineral line to stop the Zerglings around always seems like a good move, but then the Biles start hammering you. And that's where things get very nasty. This Immortal's already at 7 kills. It only just got to the fight. But that's a beautiful counterattack in Dark, dude. They call him the comeback king for a reason. Reyna's the comeback kid. Dark is the comeback king. Because he is so good at surviving in these sort of desperate situations. Sniping that Prism with the Queen, absolutely clutch. And to be fair, a mistake from Classic to set it up so close to the front line. Roachling has breached the natural at the same moment. And Classic, dude, I thought he had Dark with this cheeky opening. But where there's a will, there's a way. And Dark, as always, has an indomitable spirit and refuses to go down without a fight. Oh, the Immortal's so weak there, man. It's like 1 hit from death. And look at the way he just moves to the left. Dark killing the third at the same time. He's got drones, +2 range on the way. And it's only a matter of time till Classic GG's. I mean, this army on the front itself is unstoppable. You're going to just kill the Cybercore, stop him from warping in any more Stalkers. What do we got? 1 Stalker, 5 Adepts, 1 Immortal, and a Warp Prism. 25 workers versus 54 drones. Dark missing everything with that Corrosive Bile, but it is what it is. Gateway goes down as well. And he's like, oh, you're going to come out and fight me? Dude, I'll fight you in the open. If you try to chase me down, I will gun you down. He's going to try and Bile the Immortal and try to just kill the Gateway units. And I think with these numbers, that's an absolutely decent choice. Slow Zealots warping in here as well. Classic's trying to probe back up. He does not want to give up without a fight, but Dragon Kaiser Gaming's Dark a bit too strong for Twisted Minds Classic. The Immortal's going to try and chase it. He's like, haha, feel the vengeance of my War Prism Micro. Dark's like, feel the vengeance of my Swarm, dude. Dude, you can kill so many of these roaches, it does not matter. We're going to game 3. From the cusp of defeat to fighting back there, Dark in the top right side. Dude, I've seen him do this so many times. Think about him versus Creator and Katowice early this year. Just bringing back a series. A lot of players and casters said Dark didn't play very well, but it didn't matter because Dark always finds himself in bad positions. Someone commented recently on one of my channels, they were like, wow, if I had a penny for every time I hear a caster say, wow, Dark's in a really terrible position. And it's like, yep, you're right. You'd be rich. I mean, that's just Dark. He doesn't care what position he ends up in. He's not an optimal StarCraft player in terms of the openings, the planning stages, but he's brutally good at surviving all-ins, making comebacks, and executing his own dirty all-ins. And I'd be worried as Classic here that Dark's just going to shove a random Queen Walk across the map or Ling Bane, you know, just down your face, one of those 45, 50 drone Ling Bane all-ins that he does. For now, Classic forces Dark to take the third base. Never as nice as the Zerg being forced to take that. Especially here, you can see it went down at 54 seconds, which is pretty late for your hatchery to start. He's also not got a gas just yet. There we go. Okay, gas just a couple seconds later than normal. No big deal. And Classic, happy to not be facing a hatchery block this time around. He came out in a good spot. I got to say that the pulling just 3 probes and a Zealot getting chronoed to deal with the hatchery block seemed like a really cool kind of middle road way of dealing with it. Whereas I know some people just go 2-gate Zealot, clean it up with 2 Zealots into 2 Adept, 2 Zealot counterattack, and they just try to probe up nicely at the same time and be like, okay, don't pull any probes, keep your probes mining that whole time. Your Nexus is a bit more delayed, but that's fine. I think both ways of handling it seem to be quite okay though. Classic's coming in for the harassment now, as confirmed, of course, that third base is off on the left. Queen starts in the main. This is why the late hatchery matters. You'll notice your queens get desynced. About a 6-second delay on this queen on the natural. That also just makes it a bit harder to kind of spread creep, defend the early adept coming across, get those injects going and all that sort of stuff. Link speed's on the way though. Always a priority when your third hatchery is spread apart from your base. And there is going to be an adept chronoed out here. Now, does Classic pylon block? The fact that he's chronoing an adept and the probes hanging around like this definitely makes me think about it. He might try to loop back in and start a pylon there. Oh yeah, he's doing it. Classic looking for the block, but Dark might get that tree down. Nope. Pylon starts up. Ling's chasing after that. And if you only have 2 Lings there, you can't kill it very quickly. The Adept is coming across this map right now. Now, you don't want to have that finish. You really don't want to invest in the pylon finishing. You got to cancel it to get the money back. So he will get the hatchery down by the looks of it. Adept Shade's a little behind. Dark was like, oh, I thought that Adept would already be here. He ends up getting the hatchery down. Maybe a little bit inefficient for Classic, who now starts a single Phoenix to deny scouting. What is this build? Classic wants to deny scouting. There are 2 Overlords on his side of the map, so Dark's going to try and run them away in different directions, hoping that one of them escapes. Phoenix takes forever to kill an Overlord. Queen pushing back the Adept for now. Oh, second gateway. I don't believe that's walling that off, guys. There is a diagonal there. Zerglings can walk in. Hopefully Classic builds another structure to fill that hole a little bit later on. Phoenix comes out to the pillar. He's looking for the Overlords that a bit further away. He's got to scoop around the right side to find that. He's like, where'd you go? It's like, I know you're around here somewhere, you cheeky Overlord. He's going to find it. Oh, Classic. Yes, he does. He finds it. The other Overlord, remember, is inside his base. So he knows he can go back and kill that later. He's trying to get as much guaranteed damage as possible. And you can see it does take a while to kill it, but he's already queued it up to come and kill the other Overlord as well. Oracle's flying out. Third Nexus is on the way. Dark seems to be quite well prepared. 2 more Overlords already building. He's got 2 injects in the main. Spore Crawler building there. And Spore Crawler building in the third and 2 Queens there. So 2 Queens can defend an Oracle pretty effectively. Does take a little bit of micro to make sure you don't lose 2 or 3 drones, but always going to lose something. Ooh, Oracle looking for those exposed drones in the middle. Dangerous move by Dark. Does bring his queens down now, though. Nicely done. Nicely done. Forge is on the way behind this into a Twilight. Does complete the wall off with that Forge. Overlord in the main did not die. He accidentally pulled his Phoenix off and he goes back to kill it. Classic maybe a little shaky in this opening as he goes to 4 gateways. The double Oracle is going to go around the right. 2 drones, 2 Overlords. Good value for Classic here. I'm a little surprised that Dark hasn't pulled ahead in workers though. I do feel like the Phoenix opening, usually you can pull a little bit ahead. 3 drones go down. I do feel that could have been worse. He goes back for a 4th, but takes a fair bit of damage doing it. And you did not want to escape that way. Oh, Classic. Big mistake. Big mistake. But Dark actually pulls back for a second. Oh, Dark hesitated for a second there and does let the Oracle get away. 2 sentries building, blink +1. Oh, Overlord speed's on the way for Dark. Dark's doing, is this German taxi? Dark's been big on the German taxi recently, guys. He's been doing this a lot. So he's gonna put 4 queens in an Overlord and shove with a big pack of roaches, I think. But actually, 3 more drones did just come out. Maybe not. Usually, Overlord speed means he's gonna rally roaches across with that. He hasn't morphed to drop a Lord yet, though. One of these Overlords will have to morph if he's planning that maneuver. He's going to go for 2. He's going to bring all of his queens to the front. Oh, man. Okay. Classic's going Blink, Robo. He's going 6 gases. Oh, this is bad for Classic. Has Dark seen that? Dark hasn't seen it. But if he knew, he'd be very happy. I mean, yeah, there's a good gateway count of 6, but he's not using his gateways. He's going 2nd Robo, 2nd Forge. Classic's playing so much tech, so much production, but he's not actually using the production that he's already got. Oh, you need to make Stalkers right now. Classic's he's going Robo Bay. Technically very good versus Queens and Roaches and Ravagers, but there is going to be such a swarm of Lings behind this as well, and he's just got almost no units. I think Classic might just be dead here. He finally seems to maybe be spotting that this is a big attack coming his way, but he's spotting it very late. There's no battery in the natural as well, and okay, he's going to move forward. Stalker Sentry there. He's trying to make some cannons and batteries out front. I think a cannon in the natural would be fantastic. Oh, Oracles are actually doing good damage, forcing some transfuses out of the Queens. Oh, does he get a Ravager? He gets a Ravager, but he's going to lose his Oracles now. Oh no, he's too busy microing his ground army. And he does damage a Queen, kills a Ravager, but now his air is completely gone on that right side. Uh-oh. Stalkers and Sentries starting to get surrounded. Nice micro so far by Classic, but there is an overwhelming number of units coming in. And oh, the cannon and the battery go down before battery overcharge can heal them. You cannot heal a building that's still under construction. +1's about to kick in, and we've got double disruptor building right now, which is crazy. Funnily enough, the Robos are rallied across the map because that's where his Observer was rallied, so hopefully he does fix that. Dark's trying to breach the natural. That Sentry warping in there. He's going to keep that force fielded. Queen's dropping on the front line. Stalkers and Sentries trying to pull back those Sentries. And the Adept up front trying to hang on. This cannon doing so much work. But look at that. Biles in the mineral line. This is where Stalkers start to really struggle. It's always those Biles in the mineral line are so nasty. The Stalker's trying to pull to the right side. I think that's a really good move, pulling back over there. He's trying to build more shield batteries over there as well. Maybe more cannons could be nice. Disruptor shot comes in. He gets only a single Ravager and loses the Disruptor. He's finally repowered this Disruptor up here on the top left, this Robo. Dude, Dark's getting in. Dark might be able to overwhelm. This is still so close. He hasn't had to pull his probes just yet. He's going to now. Oh, and he pulls back, forces the Biles to kind of, be used more defensively by Dark. 3 of those Ravagers are almost dead. There's so little reinforcement behind this, guys. Dark did not build Queens behind this. Oh, Dark didn't build any Queens. This is every time Dark does this build, he always forgets to rebuild Queens because he brings every Queen across the map, and then he floats thousands of resources. He's never fixed this. In dozens of games, he's done this in the last few months. Every single time he brings every Queen, he ends up floating thousands of minerals because the fight lasts for so long. He ends up so all in with it. Dropping creep in Classic's base, though. I mean, you can hate Dark for his inefficiency if you're a clean macro player, but you can't hate him for his style. That man just took a deuce in Classic's base. That man just dropped Trow in his mortal enemy's living room and started bloody dropping poo-poo all over the place. That is a nasty way to play StarCraft. He will finally lose the Queens. An Observer needs to be pulled back to deal with all of this. Looks like he's clearing the creep on the front. At the end of the day, Classic holds. Classic's got double Robo production. He's got double Forge. He's making +2. He's on equal workers with a 4th base only halfway done. If Dark had built Queens and injected, I think he'd be ahead. But because he didn't, he's actually behind in this game. He's starting a 5th. He's not massively behind, but he's just started his upgrades. His Infestation Pit is there. He could rush Hive and try to go Ultras, maybe. We don't see that very often, but against Stalker Disruptor, that's an amazing comp. Viper's also great versus this. Hive has started. +1 armor's on the way for Classic as well. What a barn burner of a series this is, guys. I mean, Classic is kind of the hope of Protoss in Korea right now, with Hero kind of not being as strong recently. And he's still making disruptors. I'd love to see some Colossi mixed in. Just 2 Colossus is so good versus Zerglings. It gives really good consistent range damage output. I also don't want to see him making Stalkers, because it makes no sense to go above maximum about 15, maybe 20 Stalkers, and then you want to just be building better quality units like Archons, Immortals, Colossus, units that are actually going to scale really well versus everything Zerg has. Whereas Stalkers, you just need to packer them defensively. So he's going to start 2 Colossus. I do love that choice there for Classic. Robo Bay, I'd love to see start the range upgrade, the Viagra. Everybody needs a little bit of Viagra once in a while. A couple Zealots still idling in the main base as well. He's still making Stalkers. Okay, he's hitting a timing attack then. He's got Viagra on the way now. So it looks like Classic is going to go for a big Stalker all in. To be fair, if you hit a timing attack, Stalkers are good for that. But it's always hard to finish an opponent off with it. Classic is one of the best in the world at pulling it off though, so we'll see how he does. 4th base down here in the bottom right side. Very nicely done, but oh, got to get rid of those Banelings morphing on the front. Dark just low investment, low risk, high reward potential there. Stalkers should be able to chase that down. He sees the 4th base of Protoss finishing up here. 68 workers for Protoss as a 3rd and 4th Colossus starts. We've got a Dropper Lord. 4 Baneling drops going to come in behind the natural. But Dark's only on Roach Baneling, guys. He's made a hive and he's using it for adrenal glands and nothing else. Oh, man. In a game like this, you need Vipers, dude. Vipers, Ultras, anything. You can't just win with Ravager Bane unless... I mean, they can stop a Stalker all in. If he was making Archons and stuff, there's no way to lose here for Classic. If he was just going all the gas into Archons, Immortals, Colossus, Disruptor. But now with Vipers coming out, if they can get out, they're very late. But if they can counter the Disruptors, Dark might be able to do something. Oh, he forces a recall. That's going to buy a lot of time. This is huge. Because if he could buy time for his Vipers, that will be absolutely amazing. Classic does need to chase these Zerglings back on his right side. Some Banelings trying to roll in from over there as well. He's going to need to leave some units here or this 4th base will go down. Oh, Baneling drop. Baneling drop coming in. Oh, he does get a few of those Banelings out, but only gets 8 probes. Not too bad. Baneling's going to roll in here as well. Luckily for Classic, he doesn't have that many probes. Classic has to go. He's got to go. He's got to go pull the trigger. Classic is umming and ahhing a little bit too much. He's got Viagra. He has 4 Colossus. It is go time. He does not lose any more probes there, so good on him, but he's got to go push right now. Dark is 100% going to swarm this base on the bottom with those Zerglings. He's got 12 Ravagers, a bunch of Roaches. He's only now making a Hydra Den. This is one of the things I've noticed in both Dark and Reyna's play in ZVP is they don't really tech to hive very fast. A guy like Serral, he's going to be already on Broodlords at this point. But those guys, it's just, I'm making Roaches, I'm making Ravagers, I'm making Banelings. And these units on creep with a good defensive engagement, they do have the chance to beat Stalkers. But it's nasty if he can't get the Abducts on the Disruptors. And even with 3 Vipers, he'll have 6 Abducts. And there is 9 powerful Protoss units in the army. So you can only abduct some of them. Lurker Den finally starting. Dark's ready. He's got 2 Abducts on each Viper available. 3 2s on the way for Protoss. If he can hit before the 2 2s done for Zerg, that would be amazing. +2 melee, +2 ranges on the way. Dark's going to try and initiate a base trade. This might be a really smart play for him. This is such a killer Protoss army. But Dark, whenever he's behind in his series, whenever he's up against the wall, he always goes for the base trade. This is his move. Protoss pushes in at the same time, but Dark's already running his drones and hiding them on the other side of the map. 16 probes have already gone down. Roaches and Ravagers starting to focus down all of that. The probes try to run to the 4th base, but even the 4th base is mighty exposed. Stalkers try to chase down the drones, but the drones end up escaping. The whole Protoss army is running home right now. Recall got used earlier, and it's still not cooldown. I was like, why is he not doing recall? But it's still not ready. Stalker's trying to hunt the army down, and Dark just runs away, man. Oh, Dark is absolutely butchering him with the base trade. Even burrows Zerglings down here. He could unburrow those and ruin that mineral line in the bottom right side. Ling's burrowed in the natural. Ling's in the main. There is only 2 observers out. He does have 1 with that army. But look at that. Ling's unburrow on the bottom as well. He loses his 3rd. His natural main loses all their mining. His 4th loses all of his mining. Classic has had a killer army for a while. But he's letting Dark get to Lurkers. Dark is such a nasty boy, man. The way he brings these series back, I swear, Classic has done so much. He could have won 2-0 if he didn't lose that Prism in game 2. But even beyond that, here in this game, he's been navigating these deep waters, that all-in that he was not prepared for. But he defended it so well, man. Such a good reaction by him. And Dark just like, lol, base trade. And finally, he's at Lurkers. He's got Vipers as well. Look at that, abducting. A bunch of Disruptors do get picked off. Oh, he actually throws a Disruptor shot from one of the abducted Disruptors. That's kind of funny. Ends up getting a pretty good shot there. Nice movement by Classic. He's still getting base traded at home, though. Classic's got to be careful. because he's on a real timer now. He kind of needs to kill Dark because he's losing everything at home. He's built a pylon wall. Not the best wall off back there. And his +3, it looks like, just got removed. His forges have gone down. Lurkers are over here as well. Dark's going to try and bust through that wall. Lings and Lurkers going to have a bit of a party. Oh, looks like he's abducting more units. 4 Disruptors have gone down now. The Viper's still gathering energy. The Queen's trying to transfuse. Just Stalker Colossus is so bad at pushing through Lurkers, man. He blinks forward. He's going to take out the Lurkers, but at what cost? So many units going down, dude. Even the Spore Crawler killing an Observer almost. Changes targets to the Colossus there. The Spore goes down, as does the Observer. But Dark's going to kill every one of his buildings. He's trying to recall right now. Dark's like, no, you don't. Oh, he actually gets the recall off. Classic survives. Doesn't even matter, though. Dark can just pull back these Roaches and Ravages, and Classic is done. Oh, man. I thought Classic had a kill timing, and then Dark just sets up for the base trade and absolutely ruins his timing attack, buys time for Lurkers. An amazing Tempest build to start the series for Classic, but Dark is just such a freak. He always finds a way to come out on top. GG, well played.